Bounces her face first. Off the turnbuckle. Becky Lynch. Manhandle slam on the apron. Becky Lynch is the world champion.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, what's going on YouTube land? It's your boy CJ and welcome to my YouTube channel, Wrestling Nostalgia, where I give my reviews on the WWE shows and PLE events. And today we are going to be reviewing Raw, April 22nd, 2024. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We open up Raw, the show, with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, and they are getting everyone hyped for the main event tonight, which is going to be the crowning of a new World Women's Champion, because as we know, Mommy, aka Rhea Ripley, has to vacate the Women's Championship, well, the World's Women's Championship, due to injury. So we're going to crown a new World's Women's Champion later on tonight in the main event. Then we go on to Jey Uso, and he comes out and he said, for me to prove that I'm main event Jey Uso, I have to beat Damian Priest at Backlash. So then, before he can even really say anything, this is when Damian Priest comes out and he has new music. I meant to say that in the other video when he debuted it. These are his vocals on the track, which is so crazy. But he comes out. He basically gives Jey Uso his flowers and he says, I love your whole presentation. I'm digging it. And this, that, and the third. And he also said that, I never said this publicly, but you whooped my ass so bad that I took you out for drinks and I told you that I got a lot of respect for you. And I wanted you a part of the Judgment Day. Then this conversation kind of turned a left field where he said, yeah, you know, the machine, WWE's machine is feeding you to me, and you're just another guy, you know, to make me look good, to have this championship, and it ain't going nowhere. But yeah, meet you at Backlash. Peace out. And I'm all like, ooh, not that nice, nasty shade. Yo, so then Shay said, get back over here. The only reason why you're the leader of the Judgment Day right now is because Mommy is out on injury. And let her know. I said, what's up? Yeet. I was like, ooh. So you know what? That makes you Dominic Mysterio's bitch. And I'm like, he said, yeah, I got him. So guess what? You talking about something the machine is feeding me to you? No, it's the other way around. Because at Backlash, I'm taking that world championship. And ain't nothing you could do about it. And I'm all like, okay, that's the alpha male energy. Okay, I'm digging that. You better let him know. So that's they all in each other's faces, all like, yeah, talking they ish. Here comes JD McDonough. And the crazy thing about it is, Damian was like trying to let him know, like, give him a heads up, hey, watch out or whatever. So as they like tussling and stuff like that, all of a sudden, Jey Uso accidentally super kicks Damian Priest. And then JD McDonough's all like, it's like, dude, you did that. So that ends that segment. We're going to see what's going to happen at Backlash between Jey Uso and Damian Priest, the reigning world champion, and I can't wait. So in our opener match, it is the World Tag Team Championships on the line. The reigning World Tag Team Champions, R-Truth and The Miz versus DIY. Oh my goodness, this was actually a really good match, actually. It was really, really close. I remember they was trying to play it nice at first, you know what I'm saying, do the whole chain lock-up thing and, you know, fill each other out. Then after a while, it was just like, look, all gloves is off. But push come to shove, DIY came up short, unfortunately. They came this close, like really close to winning. They ended up hitting their meet in the middle on R-Truth. But 1-2, The Miz pulls him out of the ring. He pulls Johnny Wrestling out of the ring. And then he wound up fighting on the outside with Tommaso Ciampa back in the ring. R-Truth tags in The Miz. They hit their skull-crushing truth. And 1, 2, 3, they win the match. Then this is when R-Truth and The Miz tries to handshake Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Wrestling. Tommaso is like, nah, I'm good. Johnny is like, you know, being a sport about it, you know, but Tommaso like, yeah, I ain't feeling this. So it looks like this may be the end of their tag team, or they're gonna both go heel, or one of them's gonna go heel or something. I don't know, but we're gonna see. In this next segment, it is JD and Damian Priest. Damian Priest is pissed. He is heated because things did not go to plan. Well, according to Damian Priest, there was no plan, and he wanted to just have it one-on-one with him and Jey Uso. JD says, look, I know things didn't go according to plan, but, I wanted to go out there and help. He said, there was no plan. I wanted to go out there and do my business by myself. I didn't need your help this week or last week. I was like, ooh. So this is when Dominic Mysterio comes in, and I guess he's hurt from last week. He says, what is this? Because, Santos comes around. And he says, look, I didn't, talk to y'all about this, but I'm not going to be able to go on to my match, so he's going to fill in for me. So, make a long story short, Damian Priest said, handle your business, get things done tonight. In this next segment, it is Imperium and the return of Gunther. Gunther says that he's not coming out here to take shots at Sammy or anything like that. The better man won at WrestleMania, and he says that now he doesn't have to be the hunted. He had a big target on his back, being the Intercontinental Champion, and he says that he is going to enter into the King of the Ring tournament. And King Gunther kind of has a little ring to it, to be honest with you. So he says once he wins the King of the Ring, that whatever champion he goes after, whether it be Sami Zayn and the Intercontinental Champion or any of the world champions, they better watch out, because a dangerous hunter on their hands. And I'm all like, oh, okay, better watch out for Gunther now. So after he says that, this is when New Day comes out. Since Xavier was the last king that won the King of the Ring tournament, he comes out and he says that, oh, you're perpetrating a fraud. You're trying to take over my throne and this, that, and the third. But you ain't the only one that's going to enter into this King of the Ring tournament, because guess what? I'm entering in this tournament too. And I plan on becoming two-time King of the Ring winner. I seriously doubt that happens, but hey, that's just my hot take on it. So this is when Gunther says, I don't know why you sit up there bragging about, this King of the Ring tournament win that you had, because you stumbled across the win. And I said, ooh, well, I mean, he is kind of right about that. And then he said something about a championship. So then this is when Xavier said, you got the nerve to talk about a championship, because that's something you used to be. He said, Gunther, where your gold at? Gunther, where your gold at? Where your gold at? Gunther, where your gold at? So this is when Gunther said, enough. He said, take care of my light work, talking to the Imperium. So he said, oh no, we done fought them so many times. And I'm like, yeah, I'm tired of them fighting too. But hey, it is what it is. We about to get a tag team match, Imperium versus the New Day. So in our tag team match, once again, for the 100th millionth time, the New Day versus Imperium. I'm going to just go ahead and brush right through this. The New Day won. The real development happened, which I had a feeling he was going to do it, is when the implosion of Imperium finally happened. So Liquid Kaiser beat Giovanni Vinci down. It looked like at first he was kind of contemplating it a little bit, or exactly when he was going to do it. But I knew, like, he had a look in his eye with something that, like, between Gunther and Liquid Kaiser, they kept looking back at each other like, yeah, handle this or something. Like, I don't know what it was. I just knew he was going to do it. So anyways, make a long story short, he was all like kind of playing it off for a long time. Like, he was all hugging him and like, you're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. It's all right. So then as he's getting out of the ring, all of a sudden he just slams him into the ring apron and just start beating him down, beating him down, beating him down. So then this is when he ends up doing a drop kick into the steel steps, into Giovanni Vinci. This is after, like, as he, beating him down in the ring. And then when the referees and the officials came in, he's all like, okay, cool. I'm all right. So then all of a sudden he runs around and then bam, just drop kicks him right in the face. I was like, whoa. And then when he goes back into the back, this is where Gunther was. And he says, I told you I was going to take care of it. And I'm like, I knew it. It was just something with their look. I was just like, he about to beat him up. He's about to let him go over Imperium. I knew he was going to do it, but it is what it is. Imperium, as we know it, is no more. Looks like Giovanni is on the outs. I don't know where this is going to lead to, but like I said, the real development happened after the match, not during it. But hey, the match was just there. Like, they kind of botched a little bit here and there, and that's just to me to, just to commentate a little bit on the match. But again, I wasn't really here for it. It was just another New Day and Imperium match. In this next segment, it is Drew McIntyre. And once again, he complains about CM Punk, and I guess he's mad about everybody screaming his name. And he says, I don't know why you guys are screaming his name. He doesn't even like half of you guys. He doesn't even like himself half of the time. So this is when he says, this is my complicated relationship with professional wrestling. The only complicated relationship you guys have is with your hand. And before he kind of really continues and goes on, this is when Sheamus come out and he says, I'm tired of you. He said, look at you, mate. You're sitting up here complaining. Once again, this obsession with CM Punk has to stop. Like, goodness gracious. Like, how long are you going to harbor over this? So this is when Drew McIntyre says, look, you more than anyone else knows what he did to me when I was a kid. You know that. And this is really hard for me. You know that. So since you want to do this in front of the world, yeah, before you had your neck injury, it was banger after banger after banger. But now it looks like it's burgers after burgers after burgers. And he is. Yo, I'm not going to lie. I was thinking that, like, in his match last week. But then this week when he came in, he looked a lot slimmer than what he did the week prior. Like, he did look like he lost a lot of that, weight and stuff. Oh, yeah, you're getting really good with those one-liners, but I could lose the weight, but you can't lose stupid. Which he was stupid. I mean, come on. Like, you should have just gone ahead and took your championship and left. You said it didn't want to rub it in his face and like, yeah, I'm the world champion. So he said, you might as well face it. A one-armed CM Punk kicked your ass. So I was like, okay. So then this is when Drew McIntyre was saying that Sheamus has no real friends and that everybody was making fun of you in the back and instead of third. Sheamus says, I don't care. He says, I do because I'm your only friend. And he says, I'm going to sit right here ringside and I'm going to do what I always do, and that's watch your back. I'm not going to lie, I don't like how that sounds, and it sounds like that he's going to beat him up after his match. And then, like, I noticed that Michael Cole said something about, for the first time ever, it's going to be Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. And I'm like, huh? Then what's the point of Shinsuke Nakamura coming out? Is it going to be a triple threat match? Like, what the... Okay, whatever, Michael Cole. I think that was a botched on his end, but we gonna find out. So in this next matchup, it is Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura. So yes, Michael Cole did get it wrong. So they had a pretty standard back and forth match. At first, Sheamus looked like he was getting the better of Shinsuke, and then the powers kind of fluctuate back and forth. But towards the commercial break, Shinsuke hits Sheamus in the back of his neck from the ring barrier onto the announcer's table. And this is where he works on the neck throughout the match. But towards the end of the match, Sheamus hits the bro kick out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. I mean, who else thought the outcome was going to be anything different? So anyways, we go into the backstage segment with Sami Zayn, which we all know is the Intercontinental Champion. And he says that he doesn't know how Chad Gable is going to defend his actions of what he did to him last week. And this is when Bronson Reed comes out and he says he has bigger fish to fry and that you needed to defend the championship against me. So this is when Sami says anytime, any place. He said, oh, okay, cool. So he goes away and then he comes back and he beats him down and he throws him around around backstage and into the equipment case. And this is when the officials are like, no, go stop. So this is when he stops and he said, if I want that championship, I can take it whenever I want to. So then he squashes him once he gets back up on his feet. And he falls down on the ground. And that's where this segment ends. Sammy's going to find out that when you're champion, you really don't have that many friends in WWE. So Chad Gable included, Bronson Reed. I don't know who else is going to come out the woodworks, but you better watch your back, Sammy, because it's pretty lonely at the top. In this next segment, it is Chad Gable. And he's explaining his actions last week in Montreal, Canada against Sami Zayn. So he says that after their barn burner match, Sami Zayn had the nerve to put the championship in front of Chad Gable, and that upset him. And then, he gave him his moment, and then he wound up cheering on with his wife after his championship defense. And this is where he just lost it, and he just hauled off and he beat up Sami Zayn, the hometown kid, and he beats him down. So this is when he goes down the line of the Alpha Academy. He's been leading a bunch of losers, and this is where he goes down the line to Tozawa, and he says that you have been picking up nothing but losses. Then he says that Maxine is pretty as a picture, but she's dumb as a box of rocks. I gave you all the tools, and you're a failure. And he says the biggest failure of them all is you, Otis. One of my biggest pupils is the biggest loser. So he says, look, this is what we're going to do. We're all going to help and focus on me and winning the Intercontinental Championship at all costs. You got that? So they kind of reluctantly agrees. Lastly, Otis, he says, I didn't hear you loud enough, Otis. Are you with me or are you not? So this is when Otis agrees, and I guess they're going to be on this whole getting Chad Gable the Intercontinental Championship train. In this next segment, it is Ricochet and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio approached Ricochet, and he says, you're lucky that I'm not cleared to this match. And this is where Ricochet stopped him. He said, look, you can go ahead and cut all that, because if there's anybody that's upset that you're not in this match, it's me, because you specifically I wanted to beat down. But you know what? We're just going to have to settle for your friend Santos Escobar. And just know I'm really like that. And I'm like, okay, I like the fact that Ricochet talking his ish, and I hope Ricochet, this be an upward momentum to his career, and hopefully it leads to a world championship, because he definitely deserves it. Like, if anybody deserves it, as far as a little man in WWE, which I don't feel like he's that small, but of course, in the land of the giants, he is. I really do want to see Ricochet at some point in time in the near future win a Royal Rumble or something, or just a world championship just in general. In this next tag team match, it is JD McDonough and Santos Escobar versus Ricochet and Andrade. They had a pretty standard back and forth match. I love how Andrade tried to hit the Three Amigos, which is like the three suplex. And then JD just come in and it's like, no, it wasn't JD. It was Santos Escobar. He was all like, and then he wound up hitting a double suplex. So towards the end of the match, all four teams are on the top rope respectfully. It was two over here, two over here. Santos Escobar hits a Hurricane Rana on Ricochet, and he lands on JD McDonough. And I'm like, oh, well, you set him up for failure. But then Andrade gets Santos Escobar out of the ring, and then he hits his finisher on a 1, 2, 3. Andrade and Ricochet wins this match. But out comes Damian Priest, the reigning world champion, and he beats everybody down, and he tells JD and Dominic that I don't need you, you need me. And I'm like, oh, okay. The Beyonce of the group. So in this interview segment, it is Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And the interviewer says something about underhanded tactics to win matches. So this is when Candice says, we don't have to be here to defend our wins, because our wins is our wins. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. So then there's a commotion between Nia Jax and Liv Morgan. And then there's like a big ruckus. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, what happened between these two? So then all of a sudden, Becky Lynch comes out and she says that it's a chaos and ruckus back here. And then she's like going down and she's like talking on the mic. So then this is when she runs into Maxine Dupree and Ivy Now. And she says, this is going to be your first time fighting for a world championship? She says, yes. She said, make sure to let them know when you go out there, you do your best. And this is not going to be your last world championship match. So she goes out there and she tells Rhea Ripley, when you're ready, I'm going to be right here waiting for you. So she says, the man has come around. A man has come to Columbus and she's looking for a fight. So I'm like, okay, I see the energy. And we're about to come up on our main event match for the Women's World Championship in the Battle Royal. So finally, we are here at our main event. It is the Women's Battle Royal to crown the new World's Women's Champion. So, not going to name all the women in the Battle Royal, but they're out there. The Women's Battle Royal is underway. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of surprised that Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae was eliminated first. And then I remember, can't nobody ever make me stop loving on Chelsea Green, because that woman is comedic gold. I remember Natalya eliminates her, and she gets right back on the apron. And the referees are like busy with Nia Jax and Piper Niven and Becky. So they don't even see what happened. So she gets back up and like, so the referee was like, get back in the ring. What are you doing? So she was like, oh okay, I'll listen. I'll come back in the ring. So outside of the ring, Becky had eliminated Piper Niven. And Piper Niven is like furious. She's livid. She is beaten down on Becky Lynch. Nia Jax ended up trying to eliminate Chelsea Green, which is, you know, Piper Niven's friend. She grabs her by her legs. So now Piper Niven and Nia Jax are going at it. Nia Jax ended up putting her not through the table, but like slamming her on the table with Becky's body over top of her. I was like, oh my goodness, Becky. I'm surprised she wasn't broken. During the commercial break, Nia Jax puts Becky Lynch through the table with a powerbomb. I don't know how she ended up in the bottom three after that. Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan ended up teaming up to try to get rid of Nia Jax. At first it was unsuccessful, but then they ended up finally eliminating her. And then is the bottom two, Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was fighting to the bitter end, so was Liv Morgan. It was a back and forth match. It could have went either way. But, of course, Becky Lynch, the savvy veteran that she is, she ends up doing the manhandle slam on the apron. Then Liv rolls right onto the floor, and she's eliminated. So now your new World's Women's Champion is Becky Lynch. I'm not going to lie, kind of already knew once she entered in this match, it was going to be Becky Lynch. It was down between Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, or Liv Morgan, but I felt like for some reason they were going to give it to Becky. But that is it, you guys. I actually was excited for this Raw. I tried to stay up for the whole thing. I actually liked this Raw. But comment down below, let me know how you felt about Raw. And like, share, and subscribe, and all the other good stuff. Help me grow my channel. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and subscribes, and comments. I really, really do appreciate it. And peace, TJ. I'm out.